Welcome to P3 Radio.
The monkey only dances as good as the guy grinding the organ handle.
Brother.
I fly, bro. That is never stopping.
Truck goes to Dwight.
Cool story, bro.
Footy pajamas.
Hey, genius, it's 2 p.m. Central.
PG3 Radio.
Here's your host, Josh Friday,
Get him off pig, Freddy. Get him off pig.
Richard Mullican.
And as I put you down, my pants ripped.
It's showtime. It's showtime. It's showtime.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of P3 Radio. I'm Richard Mullican, joined by my co-host, the man that wants to know what love is and wants you to show him. And best friend, Josh Proudly. Say, hey, Josh.
Well, you don't have to call me darling. Darling. You never call me Joshua. How's it going, Richard?
Doing pretty good, man. Episode 129, still on, I guess, what we would call an emotional high from last week.
I know, I'm still coming down from it. It feels a little tingly right now. But
Yeah.
It was fun, though, man.
It
All
was.
kidding aside, dude, it felt good to have a conversation with a fellow podcaster that is local.
Yeah, that
You
doesn't get offended by stuff.
Where are you going with that?
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, I'm not being negative. I'm saying he doesn't get offended by stuff. So it's
Right.
like,
He's not a butt herder.
yeah, so you could be kind of honest with him and talk about things. So it's it's rare to find that nowadays, man. Usually when you open up a conversation talking about a one-armed man and burying him.
Somebody, you get a few eye rolls.
Yeah, you do get that, oh my God.
Yeah, a lot of times whenever I tell some of the relatives like stuff that I've said about them on the show, they get a little, oh my God. You know, like I've told my mom the half-assed deaf thing.
Yeah.
I've told,
We even talk about Dash Big Dick.
I would never say
You
that.
wouldn't say it?
No.
Let me get drunk around him, Joshua. I'll tell him.
But I've even told my wife certain
Yeah.
things that stories and shit that I've told. And now, whenever we're riding and she does something funny or says something funny,
Right.
she just looks at me with
You
her
gonna talk
eyes.
about this?
There's you something for you, show. Talk
you-
about it all you want, motherfucker.
Don't you hate it when the wives try a little too hard to give you content? I bet you could talk about this. Like, what am I going to do with this?
Yeah.
But-
I mean, I just hope she doesn't start like fucking pranking me and putting, saran wrap on the toilet and shit and laying a log right there on the top.
like her laying a log or you?
No, for me,
Oh.
like if I just pancaked one day.
Like, who is this for? You just put saran wrap
Yeah,
and put
now
the
you can
shit
talk
on
about
it.
that on your show, motherfucker.
I think my wife's crazy.
She's trying really hard.
She shit on saran wrap. You know how hard it is to flush that? But no, man, episode 128 was really fun. Like I said, we got to talk to Jay from Let's Discuss It. Go back and listen to that. It was a real fun episode, and it got a lot of hits for the first week. I mean, right out of the gates, we got a lot of hits from Jackson, a lot of hits from other places that we haven't seen pop up in quite a while. So we thank everybody, even if you're a new listener, thanks for tuning in. But Josh, speaking of new listeners and speaking of family, I got family members listening to the show now. And last week, I was telling my mother-in-law and sister-in-law, because my wife was at work,
You know, man,
about the scooter
I'm
story.
sorry to cut you off here, but
Yeah.
I didn't say much in the text message when you sent it to me saying, yeah, my mother-in-law and my sister-in-law are listening to last week's show.
Yeah.
My jaw dropped.
Yeah.
I'm just, do you know what all we said?
Well, I can tell you what we said, Josh.
I know, but they can too.
But no, man, we were sitting there, and they said, well, so you did your podcast today? And I was like, yeah, we did our podcast today. And she was like, what's it called? My mother was like, what was it called again? And my sister was like, P3 Radio. And she's like, let me see if I can find that. I've got, are y'all on Spotify? And I was like, I don't know. And of course, apparently we are on Spotify.
Hello, Spotify.
So she pulls it up. She says, is that y'all? And of course it's us. It's a picture of us. It's like,
No.
oh. I was like, well, I can either lie boldly to her face or things are about to get awkward. And I was like, well, I ain't going to be able to lie my way out of this one. So they started listening, and it's the opening story about the scooters. And of course, the first line that I was like, oh God, was the line where I told you, I was like, I opened the door and I said, you got to ride this thing. And I pointed at my crotch. Like I said that line and they laughed. They thought it was funny, but I'm sitting there going, oh God. And the line that really did me in though was like 5 seconds later when I was talking about how big the scooter was. And you're like, it was an average size. I was like, no, it's pretty big, especially if you trim the pubes back. Sitting in a living room with my mother-in-law and sister-in-law, who have turned this on the TV, by the way. They've streamed it to the TV.
I bet that's the first time we've ever been broadcast amongst surround sound.
So the line that my mother-in-law got a phone call, and the last line that was uttered was about the vagina candles, and the last line that I heard before the phone shut off the feed to the TV was, that pussy got you tore up, huh? And I'm like, yeah, you can just turn it off from here. You don't have to listen in to me talking about how depressed I've been. So I'm going to have to start talking on this thing like people are actually listening, Josh.
They've always been listening.
Oh, I know, but I'm just saying, like, usually it hadn't been family
like
members.
People at your Christmas table.
Yeah,
listening.
usually people in my family don't support my podcast. We come from a long line of not support. We come from a long line of, why you want to do that for?
We're like the Bolins of Tennessee.
Yeah. So
you'll get that one day. Whenever one of us dies.
Yeah. We did a show that we haven't released yet, and I can't even remember half the jokes we said, but man, it was that movie was one of those things. It's like there was so many awful moments that you're just sitting there looking at it and you can't say anything. You're
because
just speechless.
You're reminiscing about your past experiences in life.
Well, Josh, speaking of which, past experiences and everything, got a little bit of sad news this week to share with everybody.
Is this what you were talking about?
Yeah. So the new Uncle Danny episode interview will not happen.
Why is that?
Well, called today and talked to him. It's the first time I've talked to him, and I got his number like about a month ago, but
yeah,
life has been so busy. My daughter had the flu, my wife's changed job shifts, and just everything's been busy. So finally got a chance today while I was riding down the street to a job. I was like, I'll just go ahead and call him while I'm riding. So gave him a call. And he was so happy. I just thought this was going to be a slam dunk. We were going to get him in here, and like I introduced myself, and I was like, "Hey, I'm Richard. They told me to give you a call. I was wondering if you want to come on and talk some." I was like, we remember when you used to come on, and I got this show. Like you used to come and tell us stories. I got this show now with my buddy, and we were wondering if you could come on and talk to us. And I was expecting, sure, what time? And I I can't do that.
Why is that?
So he said, right now, and I understand this. He said a lot of that stuff, to be back there, he had to sign basically non-disclosure agreements.
Okay.
MDAs and stuff like that.
We have covered those before.
Yeah. So he's like, I had to sign a lot of those. And he goes, in the rock and roll business, it's kind of like you don't want to burn yourself by talking about things that he's like, talking to family and everything is one thing, but putting it on recording. And I said, well, I was like, would you want to come on and just not name names? I mean, if you don't have to, if you don't want to. He's like, I'll be honest. If I told the stories, everybody would know who they are. And he's like, plus, I don't trust myself to not say something in the heat of the moment, and then it's out there on recording forever. And he's like, I took a break from doing this job, and he's like, I'm kind of back in it now, bouncing around a little bit here and there. And he goes, I don't really want to jam myself up and burn myself out of the job. And I said, completely understand.
Yeah.
You don't want to gum up somebody's livelihood or their sweet. That's a sweet gig. So, you wouldn't want to just like take away someone's trust that way.
Well, yeah, and you can akin it to the wrestling business too.
That's what I told him.
You don't want to go and tell what, even if like certain stars are doing drugs and stuff,
right,
because you have seen it with your own two eyes.
Or people are doing weird things with their penis in an adjoining room.
Yeah, maybe got one stuck in a Gatorade bottle one time. The head swole up like a damn turnip.
Sometimes that happens.
You never know. But we would never talk about those type of things.
Right.
It's respect, man.
Yeah, I get it. And that's what I told him. I was like, I'm coming from a 12-year wrestling career. I completely understand you don't want to burn bridges. I mean, there's stories that I have that I would never tell on the air.
Yeah.
I mean, there's personal stories I wouldn't tell. We talked about them beforehand. There's things that I would tell you that I wouldn't say on here because sometimes in life there are a few things that you want to keep private, and especially if they're job related. You know what I mean?
Indeed.
So
Don't shit where you eat.
I told him, I ended the conversation with, well, if you ever do get out of the business and you're done, you're done, and you want to talk about some stuff, we'll be glad to have you. Or if you ever need us to promote something for you, I was like, we have a small fan base. I was like, we can get that message out there. We'll promote it for you, no problem. Just let us know if we can do anything for you. He said, oh, yeah, I appreciate it. He's like, I'm going to write I got your number now on my phone. I'm going to jot it down. Then he talked to me for a while. He's like, you still living at your grandmother's old place? And
Yeah.
just a friendly guy. Like I said,
He was, man.
he told me no in the nicest way, but I do feel like if it was just us talking to him in the front yard, he would tell us all kinds of stories.
Oh, yeah.
But getting it on record that, like, there's that plausible deniability. If he doesn't tell it on air, then he didn't tell us.
Right.
But you know what I mean? It's just like, I'm not going to jam him up that way. And hopefully one day he'll go, yeah, I'm done with it. Let's talk. And that'd be awesome. But if not, no big deal.
That will be the day. But that still, because honestly, I got sad after you sent me the text. You sent me a text earlier in the day that said, well, the new Uncle Danny interview is not happening. I completely understand why, though, and I'll tell you whenever we record. That way you don't have to hear the same story twice. Yeah. I was fucking bummed out, man. I thought the new Uncle Danny had passed or something.
No,
because his Facebook wasn't active, or So, yeah, I was bummed out. But that does give us hope, my friend, that if we do wrangle Captain Mark after he gets out of prison or jail, wherever he's at right now, he's somewhere locked up. But whenever he gets out and he agrees to our riverboat voyage, new Uncle Danny's right there.
We could do a live show, maybe.
Yes, watching our back. New Uncle Danny has our back. And you know what? I don't give a fuck about how wild Captain Mark is because I know Uncle Danny will rip that fucking larynx out at the drop of a hat.
You think we can get your Uncle Danny on the boat, too? Call it Danny and Danny Security?
Dude, I think the boat would sink so much badass on that boat. Oh, my God.
Nightmare Danny Blue Davis. Security Brothers.
Man,
that'd be awesome.
Dude, and
imagine how many women would get pregnant on that boat just from having those two men there together. We wouldn't even have to do anything.
No,
just the masculinity of those two just being in the same area.
Sweat would drip off somewhere.
Yes, and somebody get in the pool. Yeah, it would just happen that way. And that's how it happens, right?
That's what I've heard.
Before we started, we were trying to get this thing going, and I looked at you and I said, roll that beautiful bean footage. And we got to talking about how much Jay from the Bush's Baked Bean. We talk about a wide variety of stuff here, Josh, before these mics come on, don't we?
It's pretty stupid, but kind of gets us warmed up, I guess.
Yeah.
And we've always done that, talk about the dumbest, silliest shit. But to me, it's always entertaining.
Right.
Because it's the little things. That,
some of the funniest things we've ever talked about was before the mics come on or in private. And then, we turn the microphones on and we try to recreate it sometimes and it's just not there. And we're like, man, maybe we should just start recording as soon as we come in and then just edit. But I'm like, I don't want to edit. So sometimes you just miss out, people. But today I said, Jay from the Bush's Baked Bean commercial, the guy, I was like, he's changed a lot over the years. I was like, he's completely bald now with a beard. He looks younger. And how did we get on the topic of the dog?
Because you said, I wonder if it's how.
No,
how
I
many,
said I know it's not the same dog.
Yeah, but you said I wonder how many different. What's that fucker's name?
Duke.
I wonder how many different Dukes there's been. I said, well, there's probably at least a 10-year shelf life. He's like a golden retriever, right?
Right.
Probably 10 years old. So you've had at least 3 different Dukes.
At least minimum, because we thought it was like early 90s, mid 90s that this commercial came out.
No, sir.
1986, it looks like.
Been rolling that beautiful bean footage since 86.
I remember seeing this as a kid, like a 3 or 4 year old, and going, oh, that's funny. You know what I mean? Like,
Everybody said that.
yeah,
back
because
in
the
day.
dog talked, but we actually pulled the commercial up. Let's roll it a little bit here, Josh.
Roll that beautiful bean.
Roll
footage.
that beautiful bean footage. Hit play for me.
Let me grab Iron Man here.
That's what he calls my dick, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, God. Had to get one of them in there, didn't you?
Good. Roll that beautiful bean footage.
This is an old commercial.
Some
It's just
think
coming
it's
out of our right
especially
ear.
for bacon,
If you're wearing
fine
headphones
brown
right now,
sugar,
you probably
or
don't hear the
delicate
commercial.
blend of spices.
I thought I
depending
had
on
But the real
vertigo.
reason our
depending on
baked
what-
beans taste so
what
good
headphone
is
you
the Bush
have.
secret family recipe.
Look, hold on.
Rest
That
in
dog
peace,
looks
Duke.
old as fuck right there. Let's be honest. He looks like he's on his last leg.
He's got them old dog
yeah,
genetics.
like those cataract eyes.
That's Grandpa Duke. He was a Civil War era dog.
Like look at how that living room looks too. By the way, it looks like they just filmed this in like a courtroom or something.
That's that same room that Ben Stein had that game show.
yes, with Ben Stud's buddy.
Yes.
Man, I can't stop yawning. It's been a long day.
Well, bless your
We're
balls.
recording this. What?
Bless your ball. Excuse me. I had an S on there.
Yeah.
No, you
Don't
S,
patronize me with two balls.
Okay, it's S. My
Yeah.
bad. You got it back.
It's there. It's back
now,
home.
Now.
I came back home. You know, it was just like that guy in that hillbilly show we watched. He had to leave for a little while, but he came back.
Bad chick gonna always return.
But yeah, look at him. That dog looks super old. Let's hear what he says.
Which I've shared with only one other soul, and he's not talking.
Roll that beautiful bean footage.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so
He's like, uh-oh, I ate
Yeah.
too many mushrooms again.
did you hear how horrible that audio quality was? Roll that beautiful bean footage.
He even sounds ancient.
No, it just sounds bad.
What was 1986, Richard?
Yeah.
They didn't have fucking Dolby 5.0 THX surround bullshit back then.
But I mean,
And if they did, it cost too much.
The commercials just kept continuing as we went through life, Josh, and you know, here's one from the 90s, like the mid 90s.
Jay Bush and Duke here for Bush's Country
That's
Style.
definitely not the same beer.
Roll that beautiful bean footage. They're slow cooked with extra
We're
brown
just
sugar
giving
and
Bush's
thicker
baked
smoked
beans
bacon,
a
so the
huge
sauce is
commercial
thicker
break
and
here,
the
aren't we?
flavor is
I
richer.
seriously
I wanna
have
share
a
Bush's
hankering
secret
for
family
beans
recipe
now.
with Duke, and he's not talking. Wow, Duke, look, crop circle. You don't think?
Yeah, that's definitely not the same dog. Duke didn't make it out of the 80s, I'm thinking. Nope.
I don't even know if Duke made it out of 86.
He looked like he
Does
was
that
on
say
his last.
cunt?
It does say count.
Kant.
UFO.
Oh, it says
Contact
secret. Yeah,
Duke.
it's circled in on CONT, and then it pulls out, and it's a crop circle thing that
There's
just
my
says secret
nasty
family
mind.
recipe for sale. Contact Duke.
Yeah, that's it. UFO.
Yeah, that's a totally different dog.
See how his mouth moves now?
See how younger he is, and he don't have cataracts and that death rattle when he breathes.
His
Total.
face didn't look weathered.
Yeah, but that led us to this, Josh. And then when we found this, you said, "Start recording right now," because we can't look at any more and talk about this. There is a video on here. And the video says, "This is Sam." It's Jack Magel. I don't know. He's got 1.4 thousand subscribers.
Magel?
Magel?
Michael? Jack Michael.
But it says, "This is Sam," but we all know him as Duke, the Bush's Baked Beans dog. I don't know which one, because that definitely wasn't the same. I'm guessing this is the one from the 90s. And it
We're going to
says,
see.
"Let us remember him as we recently put him down due to an aggressive spread of cancer." It's like, geez. Duke was known for his many appearances in the iconic Bush's Baked Beans commercials as a dog who is often talking about giving out the secret formula. He was not just a good boy, he was the best boy. Fly high, Sam. All dogs go to heaven.
How the fuck are we supposed to make fun of this now, Richard?
But it was just like one last farewell to Duke, Bush's Baked Beans. And then I'm sorry. And that ain't even the same dog.
What do you see, Richard?
Dude, okay. So I see a picture of a dog with America behind him.
Oh, God.
American flag.
It's
It's
got a farm behind it and shit.
definitely not the same dog as what we just saw, Josh.
No, I'm not even sure that's a golden retriever or whatever the fuck it is.
And
It's
it
not
says,
the same type of dog.
"This video has been made," and this is bad video, like like Windows Movie Maker text. There's not even like any accent to it. It just says this video has been made in memoriam for Duke, the spokesdog for Bush's Baked Beans, RIP. Now, we haven't seen this video, so let's see what it says. We just saw that first glimpse, like where they're... Oh, man, it's going to tell the whole story. I don't know if we want to... We just read it.
Oh, God. It's like a book.
He will be missed. And now it's some dude with a unicycle?
He's got a drone.
Oh, no, he's got a drone.
So is he going to fly Duke over the ocean and release him?
I was just thinking the same thing.
Goodbye, Duke.
Plop.
I just couldn't put him down. You know, like take him to the vet. I had to do it my way.
And then you see like high tide, bring him back in.
Fly,
you gotta do it
Duke.
again, Duke. Come back over here. I'd love to let you live, but you still have cancer.
God damn, he's swimming back to shore. Get a rock, honey.
Get in the car, kids. We just gotta leave him.
Duke's running after us, Daddy.
Okay, so what's the drone for? I don't understand the relevance here, Josh.
Well, he's got a rope.
He's got a rope?
What do you think he's doing with it?
Surely not.
Duke's in that bag.
Oh.
Duke's in that
See
bag.
those cans of beans? They'll either be soaking wet, or hopefully he makes it back in on
Huh?
same plan, 500. 500.
Okay, what?
500.
There's so many questions here. Why is the guy flying the drone have one of those Booker T and Stevie Ray nose things on his nose?
That's not a Booker T and Stevie Ray thing. That's like a bandage from the emergency room. Somebody's punched him.
We're doing the bean thing. He just punches him in the face.
Did you not see his purple eyes?
Yeah, I did. So many questions. Apparently they're rich fuckers, though. Look at that pool.
It's a nice spread.
It is.
That way, that
Right by the ocean? Is that the ocean, I'm assuming?
way. On you.
It ain't a lake.
I thought maybe
Bye-bye,
that was...
Are they?
They said it was baked beans. I don't understand the significance unless they're like pouring one out for their homies. I thought maybe Duke was in the can like they cremated him and they were about to spread his ashes.
That's what I was thinking. They're showing you how they smuggled dope from Tijuana to here.
They just did a parachute.
Coming! Red working!
I don't understand the significance, Josh.
Fly
I
high,
think
Duke.
somebody fucked us on this one. Long and hard.
Indeed.
It rolls
didn't
into
even-
the neighbor's
Yeah,
window.
that's not even their yard. And it said they
They had trash bags
yeah,
for
that's
parachutes.
not parachutes. What the fuck did we watch?
The bean drop has been dedicated to Duke. He will be missed.
Damn. If that really is Duke, do you see what a commercial dog can buy?
Yeah.
House on the ocean. Like a 2-story house on the ocean.
I don't think this was the same one. I think that was just a fan video. But still, that's pretty crazy that some fan made a video about Bush's Baked Beans dog number 7.
Now I don't feel so bad about my my VHS obsession.
Yeah. Dude, that's pretty messed up. I don't know where to go from here, Josh.
It's kind of weird. Well,
Hold on. Let's just do this then. Josh, Valentine's Day is right around the corner. And how do you say love? What's your way that you say love, Josh, in the Briley household?
zip. Usually that.
And you just point at it and clear your throat.
Now, no, seriously.
But you know what would loosen those gears a little bit, Josh?
I think I know. Why don't you tell me?
Lube.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
And maybe some wine.
Maybe so. And where would they get that wine, Josh?
I would suggest going to tinyurl.com/P3wine. That's going to take you to the Wine of the Month Club. And they have so many awesome different packages
Selections.
that you can choose from.
Yes.
Different price points.
Yes. It, like we
$29.95 to $19. Oh, shit, I done fucked up. $99.95.
$99.95. Well, if you want to get fucked up, like Josh apparently is, visit our boys over at Wine of the Month Club, the original wine club since 1972, and get your Valentine's Day sweetie, the gift that keeps on giving. It's Netflix for winos. It's Wine of the Month Club, the original wine club since 1972. Join them there today by visiting our link, tinyurl.com/P3wine. Once again, tinyurl.com/P3wine. Got a little bit of
My dinner's on fire while she watches TV.
Wayne.
If you ever wondered what it's like to be me, she takes all my money and leaves me no smokes. Yells at my buddies and insults my folks. I'm breaking my back, doing the best that I can. She's got time for the dog and none for her man. And I'm no dope, but I can't cope. So hit the fucking road and piss up a rope. You can piss up a rope and you can put on your shoes. Hit the road, get trucking. Pack your bag, I don't need the ag. On your knees, you big booty bitch, start sucking. You're riding my ass like a horse in a saddle. Now you're up shit's creek with a turd for a paddle. And I can't cope, piss up a rope.
When you deal with Richard, you're dealing with style, class, and elegance.
What the hell is this, Josh? You get on some weird YouTube loops. I like it. I don't
Yeah.
mind it, but
We're pissing up a rope.
this is Wayne with Piss Up a Rope.
This is off of the country album they did.
Oh, okay. Well, all right.
How many times you had to say that?
I don't think that would be a good paddle.
You'd be pissing up a rope.
All right. Well, that was Wayne with Piss Up a Rope.
That ain't country. I'll kiss your ass.
I guess their country version, huh? Is that what that is?
I think that was just a whole rib album that they made.
They didn't have the country twang in their voice. You know what I mean?
They did not. That's why I think it was just a whole little rib thing. But you know, you mentioned your in-laws earlier, that they were listening and all that. There's been a kidnapping, and I demand.
What'd you do with my in-laws?
Listen
here, fucker.
I demand to know. Oh my God! Are you all
Sorry.
right?
Yeah.
You gonna be okay? Trying to cut a promo when you drinking whatever you're drinking.
It went down the wrong pipe. Next time, don't shove so hard.
Okay.
Sorry. Go ahead.
You all right?
Yeah, I'm fine.
You composed?
Yeah, I'm composed now.
Wow. Okay. Where the fuck is the little garden boy?
Is
Where
this
is
like
the
a
garden
nursery
boy?
rhyme?
No. You remember that little
Where is the garden boy?
that little
Where the east meets the west.
No. You remember that little boy?
Oh, the little fisherman boy.
that they got in Mississippi.
Yes.
And they painted.
Okay. So
Where
my
is it?
in-laws' family members were down last 2 weeks or last week. The ones that they got that from, and they were actually the ones that painted it for the woman. Like it was like their mother or it was a grandmother. I don't know what they were. Really cool people though. They were talking about it, and they were joking because it's not holding a fishing pole, but it looks like it's supposed to be holding one in its lap.
Yeah.
And you're supposed to set it off the dock and put it like it's fishing, and it just looks like it's double masturbating, like double jacking.
I enjoyed that every time I passed by their house.
It's on the back side of their house now.
Well, fuck. Tell them to put them back up front. That was hilarious. Every time me and my wife passed their house, there's the little boy.
They got the hat on it now too.
Yeah.
You saw it?
It was hilarious.
Oh man, yeah.
Little boy
Well, I'll
holding
tell
his
them by
junk.
request they need to put that little fishing boy out there
Put the little fishing boy back.
behind the bush, looking like he's whacking it.
Speaking of whacking it, Richard.
All right, put it away.
No. Our good buddy BT from Shooting the Shiznit has sent us a couple little things on Twitter that he found that was just pretty crazy and kind of in our taste. Now, I wouldn't say that, well, you'll get it. Let's click on this first link here.
Okay.
It, hopefully it's not a scammer site because it's got a whole bunch of bullshit in front of it. But
ooh,
here
hot sex now. Click here for more juicy asses.
It
you
says
hate those
here-
pop-ups when you're trying to watch YouTube, not porn?
My God. All the time.
Oh, man. What does this article say here,
Man
Josh?
high on meth fights off 15 police officers while masturbating.
What kind of Jackie Chan shit is that?
Hey, dude, look at him. He looks like he'd just be a squirrely little shit.
Yeah,
he's
he
not,
does.
He's not like a heavy guy. He looks like he's just a little squirmy, wiry little shit.
Yeah.
And is really...
I'm trying to think of what he looks like.
Is whacking the pud really that important? Seriously, to have 15 different counts of assaulting a police officer.
Yeah.
My God. I mean, masturbation has never, I mean, maybe at 12 it was that important. I would have at least evaded arrest back then for, to jack off. But that was just whenever I was discovering it.
Yeah.
It hasn't been that important to me since. But apparently when you smoke meth, it becomes that important. So here it just has Oregon. So God knows where in Oregon. Could be in the boot hills of Portland. You never know.
Hey, that's close to our buddy Mullins up there. Maybe he heard about this story.
Maybe he's seen him out there doing it. Maybe he called the
Should I
cops
send
on
him
the
a text
guy.
here in a minute? And just
Sure.
says, hey, did you hear about somebody fighting off?
Fighting off while beating off?
Fighting off cops while beating off on meth?
The article says a man who was allegedly high on meth reportedly fought off more than a dozen police officers while publicly masturbating. Andrew Fry, 37. Now, look, 37?
Yeah.
What the fuck, man?
Yeah.
You're old enough to know that is some dumb shit to
I mean,
be trying
if you're
to
like
do.
most 16-year-old boys, I mean, there are days that you can't even put on pants because so you got to think at 37, it's old hat by now, right? It can't be that important. You know what I mean? It can't be like
do it in public.
This
No
is
less.
21 years ago. Like if you would have used that juice when you were 16 to make a kid, he'd be 21 now.
Right.
And it's still the most important thing to you.
Oh, my God.
Some people watch movies that they like, Josh. Some people have hobbies like crocheting. This man just likes getting meth and his joys on while fighting people, apparently, right?
With his dick in his hand. It says Andrew Fry, 37, apparently made a series of outbursts and then began masturbating in an Oregon restaurant, the Oregon reports. Incredibly, police were reportedly unable to subdue Fry with a taser.
Oh, I'm sure that just spurred him on. Oh, yeah. Maybe that's where the assault comes in. He arced it over 14 officers.
That's like you've seen the little, like the joke bullshit where people have the jumper cables hooked up to their nipples while it's sex or whatever. That's a joke, but this guy is legit getting
Is it a
tased.
joke?
No, he's getting. Oh, it may not be.
It might not be. I imagine it'd be easier with nipple rings.
Of all the things that I've seen on X video, I've never seen a car battery hooked up to somebody.
I
But
bet you we can find it, and
I
we will
bet
look
we
after
can.
this.
Okay. And it says, it took 15 police officers to finally take him into custody.
Custody?
Into custody.
This
To
story
take him-
got you messed up, don't it?
to take, yeah, kind of like the pussy had you messed up, which you inlet. It took 15 officers to finally take him into custody and stop him from pleasuring himself.
Although by the time they got 15, he tried to pleasure 4 other officers.
This meth is really good, man.
Let me show you what I was doing. Give him a minute, Johnson. Let him finish. Now look up the X video thing. I bet you find somebody
Dude.
car battery.
So you're wanting to bog up all these tabs that we have pulled up with porn because you know it's going to bog.
We'll close up the dog cancer tab.
God damn it. There you go.
So is Xvideo your site of choice?
Xvideos
Oh, I'm sorry.
with an S.
Where does Xvideo take you?
Apparently to nowhere. MyFreeCams.com. Flirt for me. Richard, I think we entered the wrong line of work. We were graduating in like the time where internet porn was becoming what it is.
Yeah, you had to
But if
cross your fingers and click on a Kazaa video and let it download all day.
Well, no. If we would have had the thought process to be like, damn, so at some point, all the websites are going to be taken up, and we need to find some of the names that we can buy and secure, you know? Like,
Right.
if we would have been smart, we would have had, oh my God, there it is.
We would have had all kinds of stuff.
Like car batteries, because you found it.
Didn't we just talk about how people I know are listening to this show? What the hell are we doing?
Apparently searching car batteries on X videos. And we found one.
What is this called, Josh?
Electro torture tits scene from Phantom with an F.
So apparently you're not looking in the right places. Oh, here's one right here.
Dude had that hooked up to his dick. My God.
Oh, man. Here's one right here, Josh. This doesn't look fake. This looks like an actual movie. That's hooked up right into her Volvo. She's trying to jumpstart her Volvo.
She should have hooked it up to her VW. Kind of looks weird on her Volvo.
What are they
Is that
doing?
Cody Rhodes?
Oh, it's one of those weird. Is this German?
He said, make sure you massage your tits. It will make the electricity flow through them.
That does not look comfortable. Those are
I don't
like.
think it's supposed to be Richard. He's hooking electricity up to it. You're like, is she okay? No, she's not okay.
There's no way that's completing the circuit.
He's saying a lot of nasty things to her while shocking her.
Was that a muscle stimulator? What is that?
I don't know.
Oh, he's
but
got a
it's
water
arcing
bottle.
Like hell. It's arcing like
He's
hell.
got a water bottle. And he's spraying.
No!
Like
You're going to fry the pussy.
Oh, that's the second time I've seen a cat sprayed with a water bottle today. Okay. Well, it's no fun if you don't have the sound effects of. If wrestling's taught me anything, is if when you electrocute somebody, you have to have the electrocution noises or fireworks going off.
Well, I mean, for what it's worth, her makeup is melting off. That's how you know it's real.
There you go, Josh. If you search for car battery, that's what you get.
Well, thank you so much.
Jesus.
Now you're logged into somebody's live stream. Thanks, Richard.
There we go.
Now your computer's compromised.
Yeah, probably. It's been compromised, though. But no, okay. So what's our next story, Josh? You said BT sent us two?
We couldn't even get through one segment without roaming into porn. Do you notice that?
Well, I
And
mean,
not
it
just
wasn't
porn.
like it was just for our personal benefit. You said that you never seen a real car battery hooked up. I don't know how we got there. But
man.
you said you never seen it, so, explore new avenues, Josh.
There's a lot of things I haven't seen, Richard.
Come on, test me. Let's
and
find out.
I'm not interested in seeing. But it says here, police. Now, this is from the police, so it's a pretty big deal. Notice how it doesn't say which police.
Yeah.
It's just from the police. Louisiana man put gun to son's head for drinking the last Dr. Pepper. Dude.
Ice cold Dr. Pepper, help!
That is some fucking redneck shit.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Oh, man.
Hey, come here, boy. Come here, boy.
West Monroe, Louisiana. You
Should
see
we-
this? You see this 24-pack? Why ain't got nothing in it right now?
Should we read it like a Louisiana person?
I can't do that.
Well, you've been there enough. You ought to be able
I
to.
can't do the kids accent. I can do. Hold on. That was
Can't do
terrible.
the Cajun
Well, let me
accent.
tell you something about that Creole. Yeah.
I do declare. Well, it said here, a Louisiana man was arrested after he allegedly put a gun to his son's head after that boy drank the water at the last of the Dr. Pepper at their home.
I think you're focusing too much on the accent. You can't read the story. According to the affidavit from Acachuta Parish, they don't have counties.
Ooh.
They don't have counties in Louisiana. They have parishes. It'll fuck you up the first time there's like a thunderstorm and you're like, where the fuck am I?
And what's a parish?
What's a parish? What I'm going to do in the storm? Because I don't know where it's going.
I don't want to perish.
So anyways, the Acachuta,
Bless you.
yeah, parish sheriff's office, the 9-year-old boy, he was 9?
Dude, that...
And his
Now
mother told deputies that his father, Chad Kennard, had been drinking and had a loaded handgun on him when he entered their West Monroe home on December 28th, 3 days after Christmas.
I'm taking your presents back, too.
You think it's New Year's already? You think I'm made of money? The boy said his father got angry with him because he drank the last Dr. Pepper and pushed the barrel of the gun against his head. Damn.
That's fucked up.
Police also spoke with Kennard's 11-year-old daughter, who was at home at the time but did not witness the incident. She said her father admitted to her that he'd put a gun to her brother's head. Deputies found Kennard at his residence in West Monroe. He denied the allegations but allowed deputies to enter the home. They found the .32 caliber handgun in his bedside nightstand. Kennard was arrested and booked in Achuta Correctional Center on one charge of felony violation of protective order and one charge of domestic abuse, battery, child endangerment. His bond is currently set at $125,000.
Which means his ass ain't getting out.
Well, I mean, if he was that hard up for a Dr. Pepper, he ain't making 10% of $125,000.
Exactly. That's why I said that.
That's like, what, $1,250 he has to pay just to get out?
Ain't happening.
No. What is it, 10%? Is that what it is?
It is, yes.
Yeah, I don't know how they do it in a parish, but here it's 10%. So, yeah, he ain't getting out. Not even if it was $125.
He's fucking acting crazy over a Dr. Pepper. I mean, that shit ain't happening.
Oh, man. Well, is that the last one BT sent?
That is the last one.
Now, what did you have? Because you had a whole bunch of stuff last week, and we didn't get to it. Was that it? Was just those two?
Yeah, that and story about my wife at work.
Oh.
Yeah, she probably don't want me to tell this.
So you want to skip it?
I mean,
we can. I don't want to jam you up with home stuff. We got plenty of other stories here.
It was funny. You know,
Yeah.
I've never done it, and I think you probably have been in a jam where you needed to do it, but it didn't happen. But so, okay, I'll tell it. Fuck it. It'll be okay. It's not nothing like horrible. It's just embarrassing, I guess. But so she bought some new underwear.
Yeah.
And, you know, you don't try underwear on at the store.
Well, no, that's just gross.
You don't do that.
Yeah.
So
the only people that wear my underwear are me and Inspector number 27. That's it.
Bless your heart.
And I think that's where I got the crabs from.
Inspector 27.
Yeah. And if my wife's listening, this story will hold up.
Okay.
You can get them from Inspector 27. Not dirty whores at the strip club.
I was going to say, that's the weirdest name. That's the weirdest Puerto Rican name I've ever heard in my life.
Inspectito 27.
Either way.
Yes.
So if you buy a pair or a package of underwear, you usually buy them in 3s or 5s. So
is that the... I don't know. I
you don't
guess.
buy. You've never bought underwear.
I do, but I don't understand. I don't ever really look at how many's in the pack.
Usually, it's either 3 or 5. Either way, if you don't like the way they feel, you've got a fucking mess of them, and you've messed up. You got to go try some more.
Well, you fucked up and bought the 5-pack.
Right.
You should have bought the 3-pack.
You should have took one out of the bag, went to the dressing room. Is what you should have done. And if they work, buy them. If they don't, put them back.
Put them back. Skid mark and all.
So anyways, she gets the underwear, on or whatever, and she tells me, like, because it's a big deal before she leaves.
Yeah.
And I don't understand why she didn't stop and just get some old underwear. I guess she threw them all away, having faith in the 5-pack. But she kept saying, these underwears feel just like they're rolling up.
Wait,
or
did she
something.
call them underwears? Or did she say these underwear?
She said underwear.
Okay.
She didn't say
You said it like a
panties.
5-year-old. These underwears are driving me crazy, Mom.
My God.
You don't put an S on that or Kroger. It's
Kroger's.
You going to Kroger's with your underwears? So anyway, she said they're driving her crazy.
Yes, said they felt like they were rolling up or whatever. And I said, well, go change. She said, I've already threw the others away. Goddamn. Like I said, she threw all the others away.
Right.
She had faith in the 5-pack.
Yeah.
So she said, fuck it. I'm going out the door. I'll just, I'll work.
Be
for it."
uncomfortable.
Yeah. She said, maybe it won't be as bad. They're new.
Yeah.
She gets to work. She said the mother, and my wife's job, she's got to walk up different floors of the hospital and all that bullshit.
Right.
So she's walking a lot.
Right.
And she said about an hour, maybe an hour and a half after she got there, she said, you know what? Fuck this.
She pulled a Colin Ray and threw them away in the trash can without shitting them.
Even better.
She shit them and put them in the trash. No. I don't want anybody else using these.
No.
Uh-huh.
She goes in front of one of her coworkers and gets a pair of scissors. And she's like, I'm cutting these goddamn things off. And she said the coworker
You
just
chubbed
kinda,
up, didn't you?
She kind of got that look like, the
Right.
twist of the head, the dog does, like, what? Why cut them?
You just take them off.
Why are we cutting them off? She said, I didn't want to take my shoes and all that bullshit off. I wanted to be done. So she goes into one of the bathrooms. And she says she tries to cut them off. The goddamn scissors are dull as like the kindergarten scissors. So she's got a lumberjack saw these motherfuckers off at the seams. She said she was trying to pop the where they're sewn at the seam. She couldn't do it. She stayed in the bathroom for like 10 minutes fighting with these motherfuckers. The whole time, all she had to do was
Just
take her
take 'em
shoes off. She's in there wrestling around and shit. And she finally got the seam busted and just ripped them off. And she, just rips the damn things off, throws them in the garbage can.
I can't imagine anybody cutting them off, though. Like, I feel like that would be something like intimate that she would do for you. Like, hey, baby, the Wine of the Month Club stuff came in. Look what I'm doing. And then she goes to cut them, but the scissors are dull.
Look, baby, it's a free-for-all.
But you know what I mean? I think cutting off panties is like a sexy thing, right?
It wasn't that day.
It wasn't that day. I don't get my socks wet.
No, I can just imagine her. God damn it, motherfucker! Somebody in the next stall, like the grandmother that's there, with her husband or whatever. He's got a heart operation.
What used to be her husband,
depending on if he makes it out of this one.
Yeah.
And you see hear my wife banging around in the stall. God damn motherfucker, sawing on some shit.
Ain't nothing more frustrating than scissors that won't cut something, though.
Especially when you got them close to your body.
Yeah.
But and I told my wife after she's told me that story, I said, I'm definitely telling that. It's too funny. She said, whatever, you go. And I said, I bet Richard wished he had a pair of scissors in that bathroom at the Colin Ray concert. But I can't imagine if they were dull, you'd have got shit ass because you'd have been, whistling them around,
They weren't that bad.
It was like 2 streaks.
Yeah, maybe. Just real small streaks. I just didn't want to.
Hey, they were bad enough to throw away, right?
Well, I didn't want to be in the car with them for an hour.
You didn't want the bread to be in the oven that long.
Yeah. It was like 1 hour car ride or an hour and a half car ride back. Y'all smell something smells like a paper mill in here?
No, fuck sitting by them at the Colin Ray concert. It must be some weed somebody's smoking. Hell, it don't smell like shit.
Oh, man. Speaking of underwear, are you a boxers or brief guy?
I am a boxer briefs guy.
Oh, you like the tight shit around your legs, but you want it kind of riding up.
Well, I don't want the the old school tighty whitey bullshit anymore. Because it hugs the nuts too much. I gotta let my nuts be a little free.
Yeah.
But I gotta cut it off at the thigh. That way they don't leak out the bottom.
I can't do the boxers. It just feels like I'm just bouncing around, sticking
what do
to
you do?
legs. I have to do the tighty non-whiteys.
Yeah, so you
they're
look
briefs.
Like, you look like you got wrestling trunks on all the time.
No, yes. Yeah, I like
You're like
it.
jobber number 2 from Georgia Championship Wrestling.
Yeah. Depending on what color the tights are that day. But no, man, like do you have a certain brand that you prefer?
Hanes.
See, I can't do Hanes. To me, I guess, and it might be different for boxer briefs, but Hanes briefs has something wrong with the nut hole. Like, you know what I'm talking about? The dick hole?
I don't use that hole. Like, do you realize if you get that thing stuck in there, like what you got to do to get it out? Fuck that.
But no, I don't use it either. But like, I bought some new, like every time I've bought Hanes instead of Fruit of the Loom, I buy them because I'm like, oh, those look comfortable. And I forget. Like Lewis Black talks about like candy corn and how every year like a crazy senile person, he's like, oh, candy corn, this will be good. Every year that I buy Hanes underwear, I go, oh, these will be great. And I put them on, and 3 steps in, my balls are falling out of that little flap in the middle. And I'm like, how? How did it open? Like,
yeah, your ball bags used to only be in one, so you get that front ball floater.
It's like,
going on.
Is my dick going? I need some sunlight in here. Open up the drapes. I don't know what it is, man, but it's like, it's very uncomfortable. Like, and I only have it with Hanes.
Huh.
I hate the underwear you get that's like they cut it like a fucking women's like cut almost. Like they don't put enough what is it? What's that? Elastic at the top.
Yeah.
Like they put it's low cut and it's like, I don't like this.
And it falls down below your ass crack.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Yeah, well, I can't stand like actual boxers because have you ever wore actual boxers?
You feel like you might as well be not wearing anything.
Well, not only that, but if you pull them up where, you don't have the crazy legs or whatever,
right.
If you pull them up, it's got that seam right in the middle and it splits your nuts.
Yeah.
Like it's like North and South Korea.
And there's no protection there. I like protection.
Oh,
I like to feel like secure.
Right, 'cause anything, it just...
Yeah.
I've been walking through during my first marriage, I was a young man, and I wore boxers back then.
Yeah.
And I have walked into the living room more than a couple of times. My mother-in-law be there, and it's morning time, mind you.
Like you got an arrow in your pants pointing the way.
My God. And you get that look, you're like... Oh, shit. I'm sorry, Donna. Damn.
Using real names. Awesome.
God damn.
Yeah.
You need a bell on when you're over
Why is that so embarrassing? And like what David Tell said, it's the crack of dawn and your dick's up because at heart it's a farmer. But I mean, that's the thing. It's like, why is that? What is that?
I'm
we
up
need to
ready
ask
to
Dr.
cut some
Steve.
diamonds.
Maybe that's something we can send Dr. Steve a message and just say.
I've actually read what the real reason is.
Yeah.
It's something to do with like your because you have to piss or whatever.
Is
really
it not
bad.
the most embarrassing thing ever to try to piss with that though?
Oh yeah, because it's V'ing off. It's fucking. Sometimes I pissed in the trash can one time.
You got to do like hamstring stretches and piss at the same time.
Do some Asian squat thrusts while you're pissing. That way it goes into the toilet.
Right. Yeah, man. I don't know, man. That's just. Ugh. It's like I don't know, and nothing. There's no reason. You know what I mean? It's like it's embarrassing in a way. It depends on who you want to see. I mean, if it's your wife, then no.
Well,
but
dude, being a grown man, it's very embarrassing to explain why piss is all over the floor and only you and her use that bathroom. It is very embarrassing.
Maybe you sleepwalking again.
I know I didn't piss in the floor. I know I didn't do it. I know the dog didn't do it. Who does that leave?
You don't ask questions you already know the answers to.
Clean it up and move along. Why you always got to fuck with me?
Oh, man. Well, Josh, I've got a little story here.
You got like 80.
Yeah. Which one do you want? We'll do this one right here. British authorities scrambled to find solid gold toilet. Stolen. Stolen solid gold.
I remember this whenever it was in the news. It was September of last year.
Yes.
But this was a very big deal. And I remember seeing it on Twitter, and there was more than a couple people said, I wish I could dump the hugest turd into that gold toilet. So it does look like something you'd want to take a glorious shit in.
British police have arrested a 66-year-old man in connection with the theft of a solid gold toilet from a palace in West London. Why does anyone need a solid gold toilet?
Well, I mean, if you want to melt it down, get some money.
It can't be solid, though, right?
I can't say. I mean, if it was, it would be so soft. So it's probably gold-plated, maybe? Don't you think? Well, it says solid gold.
Yeah.
But haven't you ever, messed with something that was solid gold? It's very, You can push it. I mean, it's fucking. Can you imagine like a big person gets on that toilet, just crinkles it all up?
The toilet titled America, what the fuck is that supposed to mean? Is a work of art by the 58-year-old Italian artist Mazzio Sataliano. Marazio Catalan. It had been installed for an exhibit at England's Blenheim Palace earlier this week. Blenheim Palace confirmed the theft in a statement posted on Twitter. We are saddened by this extraordinary event, but also relieved no one was hurt. The statement said,
He said no one was butthurt.
We are grateful to our staff at the Thames Valley Police.
Or it's got a T in it. Thames.
The Thames Valley Police for their rapid and brave reaction. They're acting like a motherfucker went into battle for the shit. How do you steal a toilet?
Officer O'Flaherty for taking a bullet in the line of work.
How do you steal a toilet though? That
I mean,
that has
it's
to be
got water hooked up to it, so obviously you gotta have.
Yeah.
If it's a flush valve, you can cut the water off right there. So, and obviously it is because it's got that pipe.
Yeah, it's got that pipe running to it. But I mean, is the pipe gold? Did he just steal the No,
I assume
he stole all of it.
Well, yeah, but you got the flush valve, then you got the toilet.
Okay, so here's how he did it. Thames Valley Police believe a group of thieves used at least 2 vehicles to accomplish the task. They broke in overnight and left the scene around 4:50 a.m. local time. So this was like a fucking Danny Ocean project, wasn't it? Ocean's 11.
For a shitter.
Come on. Ocean's 11 and the golden shitter. The toilet, worth by some estimates up to $1.25 million, was connected to the plumbing of the building. As a result, its removal caused extensive damage. Blenheim Palace, and UNESCO World Heritage Site and birthplace of Winston Churchill announced Saturday that it would be closed for the day.
We're closing up.
Someone stole the golden loo.
The golden loo?
The golden loo is gone. So we must close. I mean, but would you really want a gold toilet? I mean, that's the thing.
Well,
I know it's like the lamp of luxury to have a golden toilet. I mean, they could have at least got a golden toilet paper holder. Why?
That's silver as hell.
Why is the silver?
That.
That doesn't match. My wife would tell you that does not match.
I think you would tell me that.
You should see the gold bidet. Oh, man.
I've never understood those. So here's
bidets.
Well, the thing
it's
about
used
it
to
is,
wash your ass off.
I understand that, but do they have like ass towels in those European bathrooms?
No, I think you just shake it.
So you're telling me if I was to go and take my midday shit at work, then everybody would know what I just did because I'd have wet ass.
Either that or you're standing under the hand dryer. Look away! Don't look me in the eye.
If you see me standing there, like I'm trying to blow dry my hair, look away, baby, look away. I don't know why I broke into Chicago right there, but sorry.
No, I think they do also have like toilet paper, but a lot of those countries that have bidets have also weaker plumbing. So
you think it was just like a dribble?
It's actually kind of cleaner to use the water and then dry off and put the toilet paper in the trash can.
I get what you're saying, but okay, so they still have toilet paper.
Yeah, to dry off, I guess.
You know how wet toilet paper is? You probably got shit, little toilet paper crumbs all over your asshole.
I don't know, Josh. I've never owned a bidet. If it's that bad, I just jump in the shower.
Oh, yeah, because you
hit the reset button.
I forgot. You like to shit after you shower. My bad. Or you like to shower after you shit.
Yes. Hit the reset button. There's no getting clean. You're just pushing it around with dry paper. We'll do one more, Josh. Chance the Snapper. How many girls have said that?
A few times.
No.
So do you have a rubber? No, I do not.
No.
You're going to chance that snapper.
Chance the Snapper is snared.
That means she's got you for 18 years.
Yeah.
Right?
Got one of your kids, got you for 18
Ooh,
years.
you're snared, motherfucker. Play you like a
No,
drum.
we're talking about an alligator caught after a wild week in Chicago Park. Fucking somebody, I bet, was trying to do... I've not read this story. I just saw this, and I was like, Chance the Snapper, we've got to talk about this. So it took a week, but wildlife officials in Chicago say that they finally captured a 5-foot-long alligator nicknamed Chance the Snapper. The gator surprised city residents who spotted it last Tuesday in Humboldt Park on the city's west side. Now, alligators don't normally migrate that far up to colder areas, do they?
Absolutely not.
Somebody was trying to Wally pet this motherfucker, right?
Oh, definitely.
Had to
Chicago is, I guess, the third largest city in America. So, I mean, it's very reasonable to think that
One
at
of
least
those
one of them
fuckers.
motherfuckers up there was trying to do like that crazy bitch that we watched a few
And
months
Petco
ago.
walking around with people scared to death.
Slap the hell out of her if I've seen her doing that.
The
That's
animal,
awful.
the animal was captured after 36 consecutive hours of tracking and surveillance by Florida alligator expert Frank Robb. Bum, bum.
You see a motherfucker.
Frank Robb.
You see some bitch out there looking like goddamn, what was his name? Not Crocodile Dundee.
The crocodile hunter?
Yeah, Crocodile Hunter.
Crikey.
So we see him. He's over there in the pond. A crackhead's trying to feed him. Steve Irwin. That's who I'm looking for.
Yeah, there you go. So two first names means one alligator doesn't stand a cold chance in hell.
Frank Robb.
Against Frank Robb.
I think I seen Frank Robb in a porno back in it was the 80s, I think. Frank Robb. And
So
Ron
Frank
Jeremy.
Robb, who owns Crocodilian Specialist Services in St. Augustine, Florida. So he has a crocodile specialty service.
Is that just a fancy smancy way of, I'll come get a gator out of your yard. Here's a business card.
Whoa, this one's in your crawl space.
Gonna be extra $100.
Is there anything any more scary than a gator in your crawl space?
Gator under your bed?
Yeah, but I'm saying like you trying to get under there to run cable, and all of a sudden you hear there's a fucking dinosaur under the house. The animal was captured after okay, we said that already. To help the gator search, officials had closed off roads and paths near in case he stole a Honda or something and was trying to make a break for it. No, closed off roads and paths near the lagoon, and residents were asked to avoid the park and keep things quiet.
That's why the son of a bitch was there. He was trying to get to the lagoon.
Can you tell people, say, hey, listen, I need y'all to keep you cool, but there's a gator. Fucking gator! Keep you cool!
He'll bite your goddamn foot off.
Go back inside and shut the fuck up. Frank Robb is on the scene.
It's okay, ma'am. I'm a crocodilian specialist. I run a service.
What the fuck is that? This is Chicago, motherfucker. Oh, man. The rogue alligator fell into human hands around 1:30 a.m. local time Tuesday. That's when Robb says he saw the gator's eyes shine in the darkness. They were dull and black like doll's eyes. Then the gator, a male weighing around 30 or 40 pounds, likes the color purple and long walks on the beach, did some vocalizing, Robb said at a news conference where the slippery gator was unveiled Tuesday. So not only did they catch him, they brought him out and paraded him around. Look at this fucker. We caught him.
How embarrassing that has to be for
I'm starting to think Frank Robb needed some business and released a gator in Chicago.
Right? Why the fuck?
I caught him. His tracking device. I found his eyes.
So, is Florida the only people that have alligators? No, Louisiana, they're like 12 hours away. Let's call them from fucking Florida. They're like 20 hours away, right?
I think this was all Frank Robb and Frank Robb's friend from Chicago drumming up some business for Frank Robb, and Frank Robb's friend got a finder's fee. Why is there so many F's in this? Frank Robb's friend's got a finder's fee. When a reporter asked Robb to make the vocalizing sound, he replied, "That's a trade secret, buddy. Sorry."
My God. Frank Robb's a dick.
Yeah, after moving into position on the shore, Robb caught the gator with a fishing rod and hooked, snagged, and based hook snagged the base of the animal's tail on the first try.
So he stuck a fishing hook up its ass?
One cast and done, Rob said. The fishing line had a 200-pound test
Hey, Rob.
strip.
That's what I'm talking about, Rob. That's how I do it sometimes.
Sometimes
One
you got to
and
hook
done.
that snapper from the back.
One and done, baby.
The alligator is now a guest of Chicago Animal Care, probably tending to the wound on his ass. You ever been hooked in your asshole and just lifted up?
Well, I got a hand shoved up at one time. That was when I was a kid, though.
Yeah. We got ice cream and I forgot all about it. Repress that memory like crazy.
No, it was the ice cream that made my stomach hurt. That's why the whole memory began.
He will remain in Chicago Animal Care until he is transferred to an alligator sanctuary, the agency said via Twitter. When he was asked how he managed to bring in an animal that eluded dozens of others, Rob replied, "It was my damn gator." No, he didn't say that. Everybody's got different blessings. Okay, he's going to talk like he's the fucking quarterback of the Broncos or something.
Look, dude, if there's a fucking alligator
I just
in
want to thank
Chicago,
God.
if there's an alligator in Chicago, everybody's going to see that shit because it's not supposed to be there.
Right.
Did y'all just see a alligator over there in the park? I think I did.
Everyone's
Like he spotted like something that just I'm lucky to have seen him.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Rob.
Everyone's got their different blessings. This is my blessing. This is what I've spent every day of my life doing for the past 24 years. My life has been a lie. Can someone point me in the direction of a Home Depot? And he said that when people ask, how do you catch an alligator? His answer is always the same.
Up its ass.
Up his ass with a hook. The only way to catch him, darling. No, his answer is actually eye rolling. Just barely.
Wow.
I hate Frank Robb.
I do too. Like
I hate Frank Robb. Everything about it took Rob roughly 8 trips around the lagoon before he got a glimpse of the alligator. This was an amazing capture by Mr. Robb and Kelly Grensky, executive director of Chicago Animal Care and Control. No, it's Grandersky. Grandersky said the alligator was found on the northwest
like
side of the
Sandusky.
lagoon where the gator was kind of hiding in the lily pads. At the end of the news conference, Rob pulled the gator out of a large bucket and displayed it to the audience while the assembled crowd murmured.
How big a fucking bucket did he have?
It's
for
5
a
gallon.
5-foot alligator. Like he pulled it out of calling it a bucket. That's
throws
a barrel.
He throws a right cross in there. Get down, gator. Punches it in the eye.
When you say bucket, I think of at the most,
Right.
a 5-gallon bucket.
Like one of these in the corner of my room here. This 5-gallon bucket
A
from
pail,
Lowe's.
something, But when you, that's a barrel.
Yeah.
An encasing, something.
While the assembled crowd murmured when the alligator initially thrashed around, more than a few said, "Aw," as the animal settled down and Rob showed it off by shoving one thumb up its anus. That's how you calm down a gator right there. Let him know who's boss.
Stimulate its prostate.
It's a beautiful, beautiful alligator. Grandersky
He's not calming
said,
down, he's coming.
adding that it is very healthy. Noting Chicago's reputation as a city of big shoulders, Grandersky said it's also a city of big hearts. Oh boy, the alligator brought people together, she said, as the idea of a gator in their city captured their imaginations, and one small school child. I'm not going to open up that gator and have that little Johnson kid spill out all over the beach. Chance the Snapper won over competing entries such as Croc Obama, Frank Lloyd Bite, and Ruth Gator Ginsburg.
Wow.
So they were all naming it. So many spectators flocked to the park for a chance to see the city's wild alligator that officials erected a safety fence to create a barrier between the reptile and its curious public. Animal advocates also urged officials not to harm the alligator. So,
Daddy needs new shoes and a wallet.
So this is the last part that tells you that Chicago, at least their wildlife person, Kelly Grandersky, has more sense than the woman that had Wally. Grandersky also warned Chicago residents against trying to get a gator of their own. Alligators do not make good pets, she said. They're wild for a reason. And that's how the story ends, Josh. But yeah, a gator in Chicago, and I think it was Frank Robb's fault.
I think we should try to get Frank Robb on the show.
I think he would do it.
And I think, oh yeah, he might put a gator in your house.
Yeah. No,
Hey.
I'm good. Look what I put in your crawl space, motherfucker. I heard your last podcast.
Now you're going to pay me to get it out. Because I'm a specialist, a crocodilian specialist. Get the fuck out of here.
Oh, man, yeah. Well, you
Frank,
know what?
He even sounds like an asshole.
Yeah, Frank Robb. What did Frank rob? You of your time? He planted that damn gator. Well, Josh, you said get the fuck out of here, so
We're going to get the fuck out of here.
why don't we? If you like the show, listen to it the same way you're listening to it now and hear all of our archives. Go back and listen to some of the fun shows we've done. And Josh, if they want to give us a call or find us on Facebook or Twitter, how do they do that?
Well, on Twitter, we are at P3 Radio, the number 1. On Facebook, put in your search bar Pop Poncho, and you will see our photograph. And if you want to get with us, leave us a voicemail or send us a text message. Our number is 731-300-6675.
Well, that's going to do it for us. For Josh Brawley, this has been Richard Mulligan saying thanks for listening and good night.